Ging Freecs has done some amazing things in this series, from passing the hunter exam, one of the rare peoples who can do it and get his hunter license, to of course finishing the hunter exam by learning Nen by Wing-san, to his impressive performance against Razor and Genthru in Greed Island where he even lost an arm. This would all lead to the climax of his Nen using career when he became an adult and gave Pito a taste of her own medicine, the same medicine she gave Kite, and she was scared that Gon was actually going to attack the Ant King, and even was happy that Gon killed her instead of Meruem. We even saw Killua shocked at Gon's adult form, stating this is Gon after decades of training, as he threw away his gift of Nen for this short-term power. So when he called Ging shocked that he was unable to use Nen, Ging simply told him, be happy you're even alive and you do have aura, you just can't see. And now that Gon is normal, Ging wants him to maximize his normal self. Gon even told his aunt Mito if he was able to use his Nen, he would have felt Jing's aura and probably went with him on his journey to the Dark Continent. But since this wasn't the case, and with Killua saying his goodbyes and being with the Calamity Aluka from the Dark Continent, the new main character heading into the Dark Continent arc will have to be Ging. So like the video, subscribe for more Hunter x Hunter content, and let's learn about Ging after the anime before we continue this deep dive on how Ging and Gon will have a huge moment in the Dark Continent. Hunter x Hunter is entering its greatest arc with the Dark Continent. Many fans do not know Ging has retired from the Zodiacs, and beyond Netero has started the great new era after his father's death. Netero even said his son was more suited to be a hunter than himself, and he wanted the Zodiacs to explore the Dark Continent before his son, including Ging Freecs. Now you're probably wondering why I'm connecting Beyond and Ging. Well, they are the only ones that were planning on going to the Dark Continent for decades. So it's a fair competition between these two monsters. Beyond turned himself into the Zodiacs and Ging joined his group alongside Periston. It's like they were traded for each other. Ging even admits his plan isn't to stop Beyond but actually Periston, and tells him to leave the Hunter Association alone. He will play with Periston until he begs him to stop. Ging versus Periston was destined to happen, and a real treat for Hunter x Hunter fans. And Periston who says you're finally gonna pay attention to me, and Ging replies I might just be doing it for my own fun. And this is a hot take, but Ging and Periston have the same relationship as Gon and Ging when it comes to how they see the world, as Ging wants and Periston wants to be wanted. The only difference is Ging and Periston think and feel the same, but Gon thinks and feels way different, which might be highlighted in another video in the future. Periston even confirms this in chapter 343 by telling Ging, you and I are similar, we think in unorthodox ways. Ging then scares one of Beyond's men by punching him in the face, or almost punching him in the face to be more precise. Ging then offers to double Beyond's men pay if he becomes number 2 instead of Periston, and no one leaves. Ging already knows that Periston was paid $0. This battle of the mind between Periston and Ging is no joke. Ging then flexes his knowledge on the Dark Continent by stating the rewards instead of the calamities previously mentioned, with it being unmanned rock and ore that can generate electricity when placed underwater, a herb that can cure all disease, nitro rice, the ultimate secret to longevity, Trinity elixir, which serves as the mother solution to all liquids, Metallion, the alchemy plant. This leads to Ging revealing how they know all this information, which was Ging Freecs who wrote the Journey to the New World East and West edition, and with the West still missing, mentioned nitro rice, longevity, and herb that can cure all disease existing. Ging Freecs, who went out to the Dark Continent 300 years ago, could still be writing the West edition to this day, which I believe will be a huge moment when Ging and Gon meet him in the future. I also thought it was interesting how Ging knew Beyond's men were hunters who trained to go to the Dark Continent, even though they tried to lie and say they were amateurs. This annoyed Periston because of how Ging always is a step ahead. Also, the fact that we learned Beyond promised to pay 1.5 billion and Ging was doubling that shows how much money he has made over his career as a hunter, an aspect that not a lot of us talk about when discussing this series. Ging is extremely rich. Ging then makes a pip out of aura. A pip is just a little seed, and flexes his Nen dexterity by changing direction, speed, and sizes. Talk about a top 5 Nen user. Ging then flexes an ancient language against Curly, a Varvard professor, showing off his raw intellect you can't learn in school. It's just a natural thing. Her is one of Beyond's men who surprisingly failed the 289th Hunter exam thanks to Kurapika, and knew Ging from some time in the past. I wonder how important this prior relationship, especially Togashi with both heading to the Dark Continent, and Muir goes on to question Jing's loyalties, who says he is Team Beyond, though he doesn't care about the fruits of the voyage and is trying to stop Periston's destruction. This is when Muir guys tell Periston and Ging to leave, and they reply, "You guys leave and die." This leads to an attack, and Periston and Ging who avoid the assault, as Muir says they are overhyped hunters, and we see Ging copies Leodio's ability and says it's nothing special as he can copy an ability he's been punched with, saying it's just a talent, and Periston was foaming at the mouth at the chance to see Jing's real net ability, only to get fooled once more. Ging takes it another step by adding Leodio's technique he has never seen before, like ultrasound, to sense his opponents and having an aura transfer through the wall to defeat his enemies. Also, Ging knew this was all a script for him to expose his net ability and tells Periston to do it himself next time, meaning we will probably see Jing's power when Periston attacks in the future, probably on the Dark Continent. Ging then tells Muir his acting is trash and his troops are not strong enough for the Dark Continent, but Muir says it's okay. They're just support to cover for us in the actual battlefield. Muir then tells Ging he is not cool with the money offer as it shakes trust, and Ging explains he only did it to be surrounded by idiots like himself because he felt accepted when people who are not greedy accepted the money. He even explains he says things and then finds an explanation later showing why he's always able to rationalize any move. Ging also admitted he was upset about Beyond heading to the Dark Continent as he was already planning to go, but knew Beyond was planning longer and couldn't help himself but asked to come join. Ging also reveals his history with Periston is complicated and wants to block his schemes. Muir, hearing all this, tells Ging, "You're number 2, but I'm leading you in the battlefield," meaning Togashi wants these two to have some interesting Nen moments on the Dark Continent. Periston tells Ging, "I want to see what you can do as a number 2, and Ging says he won't hesitate. Expect these two to go out in the Dark Continent as well. I also want us to realize Ging making fun of Muir acting is a big deal since it took Kurapika using his Nen to figure out him capping, so Ging is the strongest Nen user currently heading to the Dark Continent in my opinion." And the first ever big moment of Hunter x Hunter is Ging Freecs discovering his father was alive after meeting his student Kite 3 years before the present story, and his aunt Mito revealing Ging was forced to give up his child by her in order to protect Gon. Now of course it also is because Ging was just not ready to be a father, and Togashi does something interesting by setting up this huge goal of Gon going to become a hunter like his father and find him one day, a goal so lofty even his student Kite was struggling to find Ging, and he was one of the best hunters introduced in the main story. All I'm trying to say is for all this building up the plot in the beginning of Hunter x Hunter for Gon to achieve his goal super early, only for Ging to actually meet Gon during the election arc, says something huge. It says Togashi has even bigger plans for both the Ging and Ging Freecs, and I believe it has to do with the Dark Continent. I remember when Gon left Whale Island and was explaining to the captain of the ship and Secret Examiner details about the storm, he instantly saw Ging Freecs' aura and even thought to himself, the day has finally come. It's like from the beginning Togashi planned to transfer the main character spot back and forth from Gon to Ging and back to Gon. And with the reveal of Ging Freecs in the manga, things are bound to get intense. Early on in the story, during the beginning of the Hunter exam, Gon explains to Killua what he knows so far about his father, and side note, Killua also having a mysterious powerful father added to the conversation that was taking place, with Gon mentioning how Kite informed him on his father's many achievements, including the annihilation of the Kuta gang of thieves, which made me think, did Ging even run into Crollo the same way Silva did in the past, or did he have any epic moments with Netsuro, the chairman of the Hunter Association? Kite explained how Ging could become a triple star hunter, but he hasn't bothered to apply for the classification. There are said to be less than 10 in the world, and to reach this status you need to have several achievements with global ramifications of historical discoveries of major importance. Just to give an example, Misa Storm, who Pearson admitted was good in all kind of categories to be a chairman, still wasn't a triple star hunter and was striving for that status. I remember when Gon asked Mr. Sotats about this hunter license he believed to belong to Kite, but it was actually Ging Freecs. Gon then proceeds to ask Mr. Sotats any more info on Ging, in which he plays dumb, saying he's a mystery and was the only man to pass his hunter exam, showing how legit of a hunter he was. I also have to mention, before Gon asked Mr. Sotats about Ging, he already alluded to him being his role model, even though he never met him, and overall an inspiration. It's like Togashi wanted us to look at Ging as someone who revolutionized what it meant to be a hunter. There is a bigger mystery than the character Ging to Gon, and that is his mother, who he was was told died in a car accident with Ging, but with Ging being alive, it questioned the death of his mother. Also, Gon views his aunt Mito as his mother, so he doesn't want to disrespect her by asking about his biological mother. His aunt Mito ends up overhearing Gon tell Killua this and decides to tell him the truth about everything related to Ging, with her being his cousin and their father being brothers, with Mito's parents dying in a car accident, a mystery revolving around Jing's father's little brother. We also learned Jing's father was lost to sea after he left as well, meaning something happened when Ging was Gon's age to cause all this tragedy in the Freecs family. We can even look at Gon's life and how he almost died as another tragedy revolving around the Jing's relatives. I believe Togashi will explain this through Jing's flashback. We are bound to get sooner than later. Ging came back to the island 10 years later with Gon and said he broke up with his mother. I believe the answer to Gon's mom might be connected to the Dark Continent, and she probably is a significant hunter. If I'm being completely honest, we can learn a lot about Ging when he gets reunited with Mito in the story. This relationship was very interesting, how she would follow him and end up getting lost, and Ging was the only one able to find her. That was an awesome backstory Togashi revealed through Jing's grandmother. She has some answers about Dawn Freecs, I believe, that have yet to be revealed, and I can't wait to learn more about the Freecs lore in general. Gon and Killua listened to the tape that was given to Mito 10 years ago by Ging Freecs, and he is taunting Gon by telling him, "I don't want to see you, and I was selfish by not taking care of you," and can't even face Gon. Even warns him he is gonna run if Gon sees him, though Gon loves what he hears about, "If you're a hunter, then come and catch me," because it was a challenge. We even see the iconic scene of Ging riding this huge baby creature that's riding its parent, and man, oh man, it was breathtaking when it was flying through the sky. To me, this shows how adventurous Ging is. He pretty much is saying Gon better be ready to hang, to chill with his father, which is what Hunter x Hunter was all about. Gon's growth as a hunter and Nen user through the many challenges connected to finding Ging. And Ging offered to let Gon know about his mother, and he stopped the tape, showing this is a mystery Togashi is heavily invested in, and he shows Jing's precautionary ways by having him erase the tape with Nen. I found this epic in all honesty. Greed Island is an arc a lot of fans don't like to highlight compared to Your Canoe and Chimera Ant arc, but to me this arc highlights the main plotline heavily, especially Jing's message to Gon once he enters the game, stating, "You won't find any hints to find me," and I just wanted to show off this game me and my friends made. It's like Ging wanted to parent Gon in his own unique way since he never got the chance to. Gon even questions if that's the only reason Ging wanted him to play this game. Bisky even comes to the conclusion that Ging created this game to train his son, because if you play the game in its intended order, it's automatic for you to get stronger, and by Killua tagging along, he's also getting stronger, so he gets the bonus of being trained by Silva, Illumi, and Ging by accident. I also found it awesome when Gon realized the game is a real life place, and Razor is one of the guys that helped Ging create the game, and he lets Gon know Ging said not to go easy on him. It's like Ging has been planning moments through Gon's life for him to overcome and come out overall stronger. When we see Gon raise his power higher, it shocked Razor, calling Gon a monster, and said Ging would be proud. This boy is indeed your son. It gave me chills on what the things Ging did in front of Razor in his younger days. Razor would eventually tell Gon about how Ging caught him as he revealed he was a death row convict that killed many people, and Ging hired him for Greed Island. Ging taught Razor, if one person believes in you, then you can be redeemed. We even see Ging tell Razor to go all out versus Gon, which Razor replies, "What if I kill him?" and Ging replies, "He's my son," showing that Freecs' bloodline was something even Ging took pride in. Razor eventually told Gon he envied him because of how Ging believed in him, showing Jing's hate from the fans for going to the grocery store and getting some milk wasn't the full picture. We also learned at the end of the game how 11 friends made the game, and Ging was the head designer, which is why it started with a G for Greed Island, and the D was supposed to be a W, but Ging changed Dun's name, which pissed him off, even though it was for the better. It shows how Ging does not care as long as it makes sense. We also realized Ging brought Gon there when he was a baby, showing how Greed Island wasn't random. It might be the most important arc in the series overall. And Ging does another trick of telling Elena to send Gon to Kite if he's a wimp who brings a friend. Funny thing, Gon was excited to introduce Killua to his dad as his best friend, and even offered during the World Tree moment. And Elena even wonders why he's a wimp if he has a friend, as if Ging just didn't want to feel self-conscious. It makes it even funnier how they eventually meet in the story, but I'll get to that later. I truly believe there's something about Ging and friends that needs to be explored in his past. It's like Ging lost someone really close to him, and I think Togashi's going to talk about it in the future. I also can't fail to mention the double star hunter Biscuit, who helped Gon and Killua improve their power on Greed Island, was asked by Gon if she knew Ging Freecs. Biscuit says of course he's famous, but the only thing she ever was told by Isaac Netero, who told her Ging was one of the top 5 Nen users in the world. The reason why this is so important is Togashi slowly reveals that in the Hunter x Hunter world, Nen is more important than the Hunter license, though Nen is a must to be a hunter with organizations like Zoldyck Family, Assassins, and Phantom Troop, Thieves, and the Chimera Ants that originated from the Dark Continent. Nen is power, and we know how strong Netero is from his performance versus Metalworm in his prime, surviving a battle with Maha Zoldyck, and he's been to the Dark Continent twice and back. This statement just solidifies Jing's power to extreme heights, and with his age, Ging still can grow more powerful after he reaches the Dark Continent, so there's a lot of excitement for Jing's future as well. We learned that Kite, one of the most important characters Togashi created for the series Hunter x Hunter, already found Ging and knew where he was, showing how he himself was an elite hunter by the time Gon became a hunter himself. Kite reveals Ging let him hold his hunter license he dropped in chapter 1, and Gon could give it back to him even though he didn't want it. It's like Ging didn't care about the status of being a hunter anymore. Kite even foreshadowed Gon finding Ging soon when seeing him hunt with his aura Nen as any pro hunter would. We enter the election arc with the Zodiacs revealed, some of the strongest hunters in the world, including Gon's father Ging Freecs, who is an exception as most Zodiacs legally change name and appearances to match theme of their Zodiac names. We see Sayu the monkey Zodiac say even the perpetual truant Ging is here, and Ging replies, got a death wish, monkey? So Sayu says, go ahead, try, idiot. You can see these hunters are next level in power and the real deal from the way they carry themselves and speak. When Pariston nominates himself for chairman, the rest of the Zodiacs are pissed except Ging, who is relaxing. I feel Togashi was foreshadowing these two going to head to head in this moment. We learned there have been 18 hunters missing since Pariston has been vice chairman. It was 0.6 annually before, and that's counting Ging, who goes missing every couple of years. I thought it was funny how Ging going missing was a normal thing to the hunters. Ging nominated himself and says he will follow the old man's wishes. This to me shows how him and Netero had a special bond not yet fully explored. The rest of the Zodiacs tell Ging they don't want to vote for him either, which I found hilarious. Pariston then tries to get under Jing's skin by mentioning Gon being in a rough shape and if he should go visit, and how he's in a coma and how he could die before Pariston arrived to him, which Ging just says he's not gonna die. The confidence definitely made Pariston think, and I'll touch about that a little bit later. To me, this could be foreshadowing of Pariston and Gon having some kind of moment in the Dark Continent, and Ging will be a part of this somehow. Ging then gets to pick the rules through a raffle, and this annoys his fellow Zodiacs who say Ging is annoying in a different way than Pariston. We then see public votes as a rule because Ging found it fun. This is what to expect of Ging Freecs flashback and main character moments. We learned that Ging came 2 days prior and planned everything with the help of Bean. And Bean said he will help if it means Ging will become chairman, which he says nah, it would be a drag. And so Beans asks why are you doing this, and Ging says when the query moves exactly as planned, well that's the moment all hunters live for, and he wants a little fun, showing how Jing's mindset is how he likes to plan every step for his own entertainment. That's where the Dark Continent and Ging Freecs will be his biggest challenge, as these two are very unpredictable. In all honesty, the fact that Beans even wanted him to be chairman shows how Beans really respects Ging after Netero. We saw Hisoka asking the Zodiacs if Ging was here. It's like Togashi wants us to know Hisoka and Ging meeting will be happening soon because of Hisoka's obsession with his son, Ging Freecs. Cheeto, a triple star hunter and best leadership skills of the Zodiac, said she wished Ging was here because of how much of a monster Paris, showing the respect Ging gets even amongst the best hunters. One of my favorite moments of the election arc is when Leorio asks Ging why he hasn't seen his son, and Ging, being Ging, deflects, saying Gon has enough friends like you. This angers Leorio, who says Gon yearned to see you. Talking to him might help him recover, and Ging asks, did Gon ask to see me? This is interesting because knowing Gon, he wouldn't want Ging to see him in a coma. It ruins the whole purpose of his goal. Leorio punches Ging and gains many votes after this, but I must admit, Ging is determined to not interfere too much in Gon's future, whatever that future may be. Killua, after watching this, realized there was a standing ovation and thinks, wow, do people hate Gon's dad? It makes us fans more curious. What did he do coming up as a hunter to make them dudes hate him so bad. I just joke. They don't actually hate him as people think, but they do have a dislike for Jing's antics. The second half of the election arc is where we truly see Ging in the spotlight, starting off with Cheeto questioning Ging leaving before the election ended and his son recovered, and Ging says, "We know what will happen. I had my fun, and meeting Leorio was the most worthwhile part, as he is one of Gon's best friends who stood up for him." Jing's love for Gon does exist. Is this very much the definition of tough love? Ging then gives advice to Cheeto, saying you should have got the other Zodiacs to vote for you, and she says he only is saying that out of hindsight. So Ging replies, "Keep thinking that until the day of reckoning is here." This is where we truly understand Jing's personality. He's constantly looking into the future for the most logical outcome while not caring about the actual outcome. This is why he was so confident Gon would survive without seeing it with his own eyes. It's that certain belief of knowing without knowing that truly makes Ging so dangerous of a hunter. Ging then reveals to Cheeto that Pearson is not trying to lose or win, and how he is similar to himself and Netero. The difference is Ging just gets bored more easily and Pearson is more patient, which is a whole nother topic I will cover on this channel in the future. Ging takes it a step further by telling Cheeto Pearson is the only one following Netero's footsteps, which angers her because of the love she had for Netero, and then Ging lets her anger know Pearson is going to play with Chimera ants who have the ability to use Nen he collected, and reveals the day of reckoning is the next hunter exam. It's like Togashi wants Ging to carry on what Gon accomplished versus Pito during the previous arc in the Dark Continent, and when Gon gets healed with Nanika, immense Nen that originated from the Dark Continent, Pearson, Cheeto, and Misa Storm looked shocked to feel that Nen, while Ging just woke up like it was not his first rodeo. Might be the answer to why Jing's father, uncle, and aunt went missing, but only time will tell if the Dark Continent has to do with it. Cheeto then looks and sees Gon arrive and Leorio, whose sole purpose this election was to heal Gon. So she asks Pearson how did he know. Cheeto here was admitting defeat, though Pearson did say it was just a coincidence, and then admitted his own defeat, revealing that when Ging nominated himself and guaranteed Gon surviving, that's how Pearson was able to predict the events that took place. I feel like this highlighted Togashi, showing that Ging and Pearson were playing chess while the others were just playing checkers, and Gon was that main piece on the chessboard. Cheeto, still confused, said, "You trusted random people you never met to save Gon?" And he said, "Of course, I trust Ging as a worthy enemy." It kind of gave me the vibes of Hisoka and Gon, but in the reverse. I also found it funny how Ging, who planned all this out, didn't plan out Gon meeting him, showing how sometimes you can look far into the future and fail to realize how the present is still unpredictable. The important part of Ging and Gon's relationship is when they finally meet, because that goal that Togashi built up since chapter 1 was completed, but there was still things to do, just how Gon met Ging, but they still had to converse. It reminds me of how when you make a goal, just because you achieve it doesn't mean your purpose is done. So Gon yapping about Kite and what had happened was cool and all, but when he said I should be the one dead, Ging could not let him land that thought process and corrected him immediately. This to me was a father-son moment, where Ging is telling him it was Kite's fault for being too cocky, and tells Gon the only issue you had was that you were too weak and you should apologize for that and don't make the same mistake again. To me, this is foreshadowing of Gon continuing to grow in power when he returns to the story. And I love how Togashi did not make this a first meeting vibe, because technically it wasn't. From Ging leaving Gon as a baby to him leaving an array of hints, it's like Gon already knew who Ging was. And Ging also accidentally exposes him knowing of Kite and Gon's first meeting in chapter 1 by saying apologize the right way or he'll kick your ass again, showing how Ging is invested into Gon's life, just not the little details, more the long run. And that's why Gon didn't really get a father vibe from Ging that he expected. It was more like an uncle vibe. Gon asked Ging a very important question. The question was, what is it you want? And Jing's answer was, whatever I don't have. This is the major difference between father and son, as Ging constantly wants and Gon wants to be wanted, which makes their relationship the best in this series. Ging also explains his reason on why he became a hunter, because it was the most realistic way of him getting to a place he wanted to see. So Gon then asks, what are you after now? Which is what I talked about earlier, about creating new goals, and Ging did just that, something that Gon struggles with in comparison. So Ging answers the question by explaining the world tree being stunted even though it's the tallest tree in the world, and how the real world tree grows out of a mountain and its roots suck in the magma for nutrients, and this tree is so tall that it reaches the atmosphere, which is a wild concept. Like the Burj Khalifa reaching the clouds is cool to me, so for Hunter x Hunter to have a tree that reaches space is insane. But let's not get away from the point Ging was trying to make, which was the tree the ants, Chimera ants, are all from the Dark Continent, which is the perfect segue for Togashi to make Ging the new main character. You should enjoy the little detours to the fullest, because that's where you'll find the things more important than what you want. This quote by Ging is iconic for fans of Togashi's Hunter x Hunter, and was said because he was patient when attempting to get to his goal of the Dark Continent, as it wasn't an easy goal to begin with, as he explained to his son Gon, who probably would want to follow in his father's footsteps in the future and head to the Dark Continent as well. Now, there's probably many more things Ging told Gon that would be revealed in the future, but that's pretty much all we know about their relationship. If I'm being completely honest, even when Gon does return back to the story, he will not be ready for the Dark Continent by himself, so I expect Killua to accompany him and grow together on this journey. And with Isaac Netero taking Zig with him in the past, Zeno will definitely give Killua some much needed info on the Dark Continent, or even Mahazoldyck, who Netero fought back in the day. And then with Ging alluding to not returning after Beyond achieves his goal, I could see Leorio and Kurapika also joining Gon on his first time in the Dark Continent, and Gon having a near-death moment where Ging comes out of nowhere to rescue him. It could be a new threat or a former enemy like Hisoka. Regardless, Ging will be stronger than he already is, so when Gon sees him again with this aura and able to actually feel it, it's going to be very impactful. Togashi is of course planning 50 new chapters, so expect some cool reveals on the way. If you disagree, debate in the comment section.